Guns, hey, they're everywhere in American culture, but as a gun owner, what obligation do you have to safeguard those guns? Well, it takes us to this week's case. Involves a real group of people in New Jersey. And there was a husband and wife, Anthony and Melissa Senatore. And they had a 6-year-old boy, and also they had a loaded rifle under their bed. They kept it there. Well, their 6-year-old son had his buddy come over and play with him one day. 6-year-old son's buddy was 4 years old. 6-year-old apparently was examining the gun or showing it to his buddy or whatever else. Long story short, 6-year-old caused the gun to discharge and it killed his 4-year-old buddy. Okay. Criminal charges were brought against Anthony Senatore for child endangerment because he failed to safeguard and safekeep this gun. He was found guilty of that, and he was fined and sentenced. How about the death of the little boy? Well, the parents of that little boy then brought claim against the Senatores, both Anthony and Melissa. And they contended that as a result of failure to properly safeguard that gun, they caused the death of their son. The case went before a judge. It did not go before a jury, but it went before a judge, and the judge found that, in fact, they were guilty of causing the death of the son who was killed. Now, when I say guilty, it's not that they were found guilty of causing the death, they were found at fault. And this takes us to an important distinction, because there is a difference between criminal law and civil law. People who remember the O.J. Simpson case remember this very well. In criminal law, it's a situation of the state versus an individual. In civil law, it's one person versus another person. In this instance, Anthony Senatore was found guilty of child endangerment for improperly storing a gun. That's a case that was brought by the state against him. It's the state versus him. He's subject to penalties. Penalties can consist of both fines and imprisonment. Then you've got a case in which it's a person against person. In this instance, it was the parents of the child who was killed bringing claim against Anthony and his wife, Melissa. In that instance, Anthony and Melissa, were found negligent. It's not that they were guilty, it's that they were found negligent. Negligence is doing something that fails to meet the standard of care. In this instance, it was found that they should have properly secured that loaded gun. They didn't do so. As a result of that, a little boy, 4-year-old, was killed. It was found that because of that negligence, that they were at fault and accordingly ordered to pay monetary damages. And the monetary damages, again, are the nature of what takes place in civil cases. And generally, as a general rule, civil cases are just about one thing, and that's about money. How do you reimburse somebody for the losses they've had as a result of somebody doing something wrong? Okay, well, we bring you this case, we bring cases every week, so you understand how the law works. I'm David Allen.